I think I can deal with this camera angle. Welcome back. Probably one of the most curiously lame introductions, right? You're like, pulling out of his driveway, man, this isn't cool. What am I watching here? What's that squeaking in the back? You are coming live in the Mobile Realtor Command Center. Those of you who haven't visited, you should find out what the hell this is. I will one day do a premiere feature video on this vehicle, because it is not a van. It is not a bus. It is the future. So now today's topic that I want to cover: how to 10x your real estate sales. I'm hot off the heels of meeting Grant Cardone yesterday, so the 10x things, you know, what I like to do is like meet a guru or immerse myself in a guru and then just consume myself into it. And as I adopt or embrace knowledge or wisdom or a mentor, if you immerse yourself in them, you are a part of them. And I wrote about that in my book, Life. There's an app for that. And I'm also writing about it in my new book coming, hopefully by the end of summer, called Engage Flow. Or something to that effect. Yeah, Engage Flow. Anyhow, how can we 10x our real estate career? Well, first, I guess we're going to just launch it straight into saying, read the 10x rule by Grant Cardone. Read Be Obsessed or Be Average. Obsessed by Grant Cardone. You can also read Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk. And Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount, B-L-O-U-N-T. Those books right there will fast track you into what I would consider the essence of what James Festini is doing, me personally doing, to not only 10x my real estate sales, but maintain this red line of effectiveness and energy and ambition and, you know, just relentless feeling, like a virus, like a shot of adrenaline. Like, what do they call those EpiPens that shoot the adrenaline in you? Like that scene from Pulp Fiction where he shoots the guy in the heart. That is how you have to live to actually 10x your real estate sales. Now, a lot of people probably won't be able to handle my suggestion about how to 10x your real estate sales. But there are only two ways you're going to pull this off. Two, that's it. You're either going to pay or you're going to earn. That's it. You're going to either pay in the form of bleeding to internet leads, social media advertising. You're going to spend money. That's the first thing that I know is true about real estate agents. They like to make money, but they do not like to spend money. I heard a joke once that says, what's the similarities between real estate agents and coyotes? And it is that they travel in packs, they whine about everything, and they go where the food is. And it's true. And in that sense, it is where the food is, where the free food is, the free meal. And it's very hard. I mean, I'll confess, I've gone to seminars where I'll just go there to stand on the outside. I don't want to pay for it. You know, I'm a cheap person too. And that's why a lot of what I teach is so relatable, because I'm one of you. I don't like spending money on things that aren't going to fulfill me or immediately satisfy my need. And in this industry, the immediate satisfaction of a need is a contract. in all simplistic form, it is a contract. A contract and a settlement / closing. Those are the only two things of all this industry that everything we try to do boils down to. Just like an iPhone, the power button and the home button, and the volume up and down, and the switch. But I trim the fat in my philosophy of how this real estate industry works by slimming it down to the basics. A contract and a closing and a contact. The 3 C's of real estate. Contact, contract, closing. Nothing else. Well, there's repeat, because you don't want to just end it on that. You want to keep doing it. And ultimately you'll achieve a status of notoriety or recognition or success. And if you do a good job, it will do it on its own, where you don't have to reach out to the contacts, where you don't have to create this, create the contact to contract to closing and then repeat. How do we 10x our career? I only know of the 2 ways. Take back what I said, but that I know of, there's only 2 ways. You go out and get it, or you pay for it to come to you. The majority of real estate agents on the planet pay for it to come to them. Now, it might be with time. It doesn't necessarily mean, paying money. It could be time that you pay. For example, if you want to create content to generate interest in people to subscribe to your vlog or blog or whatever it is that you think you're doing, it's not going to be immediate business. And if we're looking for now business, because let's put it this way, ladies and gentlemen, you guys, when you watch a video that says how to 10x your business, people don't 10x their lives on a maybe later. They do it on a right now and 10 seconds ago and 3 seconds from now. It's such a small window of time where you're just like now. 10x is not a lifestyle of maybe later or for the future. Not today. Now, obviously, if you make enough income from selling, you could prepare for the future. But again, the majority of agents out there, they're looking for like right now, quick fix. Tell me where I want to take that pill right now. Fix my shit. I am going broke. I've got less than X amount of days before I'm back to my real job. And that hurts, because for me, I don't have a real job. I don't have a backup plan, man. When the market took a dump, my backup plan was find some REOs, find some banking, and I stayed the same industry, different job. Same career, different job. And although that time is coming and you can prepare for it, we're talking about right now. How do I 10x my real estate sales right now, today? Step 1, get your database in order. Wherever, whatever, focus, get it into one contact management software. Every sticky note, every pad, every Gmail account, everything needs to be consolidated into one system. I have Mojo Selling Solutions as that one system. However, I also use auxiliary or ancillary CRMs. Mojo is my home. I live there. I do my letters and I do my calls. Let's go back to the basics of how to reach people. There are only 4 ways to reach people. By phone, by email, in person. Yeah, it's actually 3. To reach out to someone, phone, digital, whether it's text or email, and in person. And we can put text or email in the category of like Facebook Messenger or through social media, but it's all a digital platform. Face to face, digital, by phone. Oh, of course, yeah, by mail. I knew there was four. By mail. So I use Mojo for my mail, my mailers with my envelopes. I use them for the phones. But I use Follow Up Boss for my emails. And I use BombBomb now for my email video. So I'm using a few extras, but I got to put it in one place. And if you have a database and you're ever going to call these people again, put them into a damn dialer. Don't sort them. Don't categorize them. You can put tags on there to say expires for self-owners, past clients, sphere of influence, open house leads, whatever. Put them there. But don't separate them from your database and say you have an excuse for not calling them. To me, my opinion is, in my history, is that when I segregated leads by saying, okay, past clients, sphere of influence over here, expireds over here, for sell by owners over here, and I sat down and I said, okay, let's call some people. And then I go to my list of expireds. I'm like, I don't feel like calling expireds. Let me call my past. Nah, I don't want to call my past clients. These people. And then you start thinking of reasons why you don't want to call them, instead of just putting them into one group and just dial through that list. And you'll see me do it. People coming on the Beast Mode Lead Gen. Of course, if you guys haven't subscribed to that, I need you to do that. Go to Facebook at the very top and find Beast Mode Lead Gen. That is where I do my live door knocking, my live cold calling daily. Go in there and find me. People will come in and say, what list are you calling? Where's this database? What are you calling? I'm just calling everyone. What do you mean everyone? I mean, there is a priority in some ways that it goes from expireds, new expireds, hot leads, and then the rest. But I do so many calls, I do so many doors, I do so many contacts that I don't have the luxury of saying, yeah, maybe here, not maybe there. Everybody goes into a pool because I do so much outreach that it doesn't make any sense for me to separate them. And that's what I'm talking about with you guys with 10x in your business. Put it into a database. Step 2, call them. Call them right now. And then call them again. And then call them again. Yeah, you guys are all looking for this magical. Damn it. Here come the thumbs down on this video, right? You're like, oh man, I thought he was going to tell me something. Here's what you're going to do. You want to 10x your career? You go out and spend $10,000 a month on internet advertising. 10,000? You don't have 10,000? Maybe you should do 20,000. 20,000 a month for a couple of zip codes. That's how you 10x your business. About 20 grand. That will do it, right? But if you don't have 20 grand to drop, because most people don't, here's what you do then. You create a stream of effectiveness that doesn't cost money. What is that? Door knocking, cold calling. That's it. So you go out and you set yourself up to say, I am going to speak to 100 people on the phone today. 100. Speak to 100 people, decision makers. Cold call your expireds, there's a degrees of effectiveness in this database as we're calling. And if you, God, I want to cover this whole thing in less than 10-minute, 15-minute video, but it's not possible. Come into the Beast Mode Lead Gen room and watch and listen, because I will engage you guys there on Facebook. But there's just so many variables in answering that question as to what we do with this list. But we have a database, about 50 people or so that I need to call right now, who if they pick up the phone, I'll set an appointment. Where'd these 50 people come from? They're from the last 9 months or a year and a half or whatever of accumulated drip campaigns that go into a database that I need to call them. It's a follow-up system. You prioritize the people in a follow-up system so that when it comes time to call them, you call them. And if it's not time, you push them into the future. And over time, these people get spread out over the course of, months or weeks or days. Sometimes they don't answer, sometimes they do, but it's a moving target that remains at its core about 50 people. How many do you need to get 50 people? You probably need about 300 leads, legitimate leads, to get a core of 50 people that rotate through the system, through the database. How do you get 300 leads? You knock on 100 doors a day and you speak to 100 people. That's how you 10x your business. You want leads today? I don't think that if you drop 10 grand into a lead generation website today, that you would have a listing appointment this week. I spend maybe about $500 or so a month on these systems, and internet leads are just not that good. I follow the rules. I call them within, a very fast time. I follow up effectively. But the truth is that most of the people who come in online, they're sitting on their couch kicking tires. What you're looking for are the people who say yes, not the people who are just passing by, who happen to stop and look inside the window. That's not what we're looking for. How are you going to do that? You could either spend a lot of money to generate a lot of tire kickers to find those people who actually might be interested online, or mail out, $10,000 worth of mailers might get you someone who says, hi, but you got to be real good with your mailers too. The return ratio, the ROI on blanketing a zip code with mail is very, very low. I mean, now we have post offices who filter junk mail. You can sign up with your postal service to throw away your junk mail for you. And guess what? Some people are paying to get rid of you and never see you. How insane is that? So we get all of these leads, whether or not they're 6 to 12 months into the future or 6 days into the future. You measure their motivation and you put them into a funnel. And you keep stuffing that funnel and you keep stuffing that funnel. And then at some point, shit's going to start coming out the other side of that funnel. It's called the funnel effect. It's called the 80-20 rule. Yeah, well, no, that doesn't apply. But the 80-20 rule is very similar to this, where you've got to get out of 100 leads, maybe 20 of them are good. Out of those 20, maybe 20, the 80 dives down even deeper and say out of those 20, maybe only 80-20 works for that. And then that's what we're doing for. What we're doing is we are looking for needles in a haystack and creating a haystack of needles, and then going back into that haystack of needles and looking for the golden needles. But it is a needle in a haystack. We're looking for gold needles in a haystack of needles inside of a field of haystacks. I mean, the reason people say that cold calling is dead or door knocking doesn't work is because they haven't done enough of it, or they don't feel that enough of it is practical. My opinion is that if you go into the office at 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and you take that window of time, I don't know what else you could be doing besides spending money, unless you don't want to sell a lot of real estate. If you don't want to sell a lot of real estate, then I could see that this is possible. But see, my ambitions, my expectations, my goals, my necessity is to sell a lot of real estate. And the shortest path to a lead is reaching out. That's the shortest path. I mean, I know it's not the popular one. I know that people will say, man, I don't want to cold call. I don't want to interrupt. I don't want whatever it is that your impression is of that. There is still, to the best of my knowledge, and I only know one thing, and that is real estate. How can we expect leads faster? I've been talking a lot about your expectations versus reality. The reality is you cannot expect jack shit from passively waiting and not doing one of the two things. And that is dumping a crap load of money into a system that will give you leads, or spending a crap load of calories in reaching out. 100 contacts a day, which translates at a 6% pickup ratio, roughly about 2,500 to 3,000 phone numbers dialed, or 100 doors a day, which will translate to about 25 people opening the door, which will translate to about 1 or 2 people a day. If you spend 3 hours a day cold calling, 4 hours a day cold calling, and 3 hours a day door knocking, that's not a lot to ask. You will generate 2 or 3 leads a day. You generate 5 leads a day, depending on how good you are. You stuck them into a funnel and keep going. That is how you 10x your real estate business. It is by going out as fast as you humanly possibly can, paying attention to those people, and coming back and doubling back and sticking and stuff that funnel. Have so many leads in your database that then at some point you will be paralyzed with an inability to go out and generate new leads because you are spending so much time following up with the ones you got. This, ladies and gentlemen, is probably the only way to 10x your business now. And don't let any guru or false prophet lead you to think or get an altered or twisted sense of reality versus expectations to allow you to believe that there is another way. For now. I'm not talking a week, a month, a year. I'm not talking about creating this whole mayor. You've seen that now. This whole mayorship of the town. I am the digital ambassador of my city. Who is coming to you? One lead a month? I have a friend. I mean, who's coming to you? Yes, they work. Don't get me wrong. Yes, they work. But they are not now. And that is not, in my opinion, what I would call 10x crushing it, red line, full throttle, full speed ahead. I need business right now. What is the cheapest legal, you can't do it illegally. What is the cheapest legal way to get a listing appointment today? I need a contract by the end of the month or I'm out of the real estate business. Who are you going to listen to? Someone who is here, who truly believes that I need a contract by the end of the month. My goal is to do that. I need to do more than that. And I don't know any other way. And if you guys can point me in the direction, I'm fine with it. But one thing that you have to remember before I close is that if you set up your expectations, the new agents have it best. Because their expectations, they don't know any better. So if a brand new agent comes in the business and they stumble on James Festini on YouTube, they will form this will form. They'll be like, okay, God, okay, I'll do it. And then they stay the straight and narrow and they will dominate. They will do it. If they stumble on anyone else, it might not happen. Because they will find someone else who leads them into a passive way because that's the popular vote. If they come into this business uncomfortable about exposing themselves, uncomfortable about cold calling, uncomfortable, then you will find that. But if you go into this real estate industry going in and saying, I want to be the next Josh Flagg or Josh Altman, I want to crush it, I just read 10X, or whatever it is, if you go in with that, if you go through that door, it's a different room. And you know of nothing else. You don't speak the other language because you that's what drove you into it. That's the feeling you had, and you want to capture that, and you want to enhance it by improving your quality of life through what is, in my opinion, the true 10x crushing of your real estate career, and that is prospecting. Whether you like it or not, there's no guru on the planet that can deny that it does not work in mass quantities. They might say cold calling is dead, but how can they say that? How can they say cold calling is dead when there is a man in Southern California that goes by the name of James Festini who is doing it from cold calling? How can they say door knocking is dead when there's a man documenting his life on the internet for everyone to see that goes by the name of James Festini who is doing it, who is proving, not just theorizing? And you've got to be careful with these people who create these theories based on previous experience or failure, which is even worse. When you go out to cold call, when you go out to door knock, expect this. Expect nothing your first time. Expect nothing your first time. Have no preconceived notions or expectations. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to go out and door knock 100 doors. And you're going to use my scripts. And after that 100 doors, as long as you're using an application or tracking these effectively, after that 100 doors, you will say, you know what? I did this between the hours of whatever. and here are my results, and here are the results. And now you have data, right? There's no theory. Now you have your data for you, your demographic, your situation. And you can take those 100 and say, if I went out and knocked on 100 doors and I created 25, 30 contacts, and out of those 30 contacts at the door, 2 of them actually said, yes, I'm interested, and they gave me their name, number, email address, then I know that if I go another 100 doors, I might get another 2 leads. Therefore, I cannot go out and door knock 50 doors and expect a result. It's like working out and exercising. If you need to burn 3,000 calories and you're eating 4,000 calories, you might not lose weight. But if you're burning 3,000 calories and you're eating 3,000 calories, you're at the same. But if you burn 3,000 calories and you only eat 2,000 calories, therefore a deficit, now you will lose weight. It's not that hard to figure out. You set up your expectations for weight loss, you do the math, it works out. You set up your expectations for door knocking, you do the math, it works out. And then at that point you say, okay, if that is my formula, now I know how much time it takes to generate this business. What if I did more? What if I went out and said, instead of 100, let's do 200 a day. Instead of 100 contacts, I did 200 contacts. Oh, you're like, what? Watch James. Don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Right now, if you go to the Beast Mode Lead Gen Prospecting Room in Facebook, you're going to see me go upstairs, and you're going to see me hit 100 people by phone, live. And then you're going to see me go knock on 100 doors, live. 100. That is my minimum standard. 100 contacts, 100. That is my minimum. Because I know if I do that, I will fill the funnel. If I do more, I will fill it faster. If I do way more, I will fill it faster. Therefore, 10xing your business is only possible once you know the math. Or again, if you're one of those wealthy people who can drop 10 grand, then drop 10 grand on one of those marketing things. And then when you get a listing out of it, say, okay, 10 grand will get me a listing. Then that's the predictable formula. But is it predictable? Can it happen again? I don't know. See, the math over time will also play out. There's only going to be a very short period of time where you're going to be able to go into the lab and mix the chemicals before the strain or the virus adapts and evolves into something else. And that in real estate is the snowball effect, where you now have so many leads and so many appointments, and then now you're looking back and saying, well, now I got, like just last week, I got $1 million listing from a door knock I did 8 months ago. Does that calculate into the formula? Can I say that? I suppose if I take from the beginning of my door knocking efforts to now that I've gotten 3 listings from it, then I can say every 2,500 doors that I knock, I will get a listing. So now what's the math? James, go out and knock on 2,500 doors, you get a listing. All right. Hello. You want to 10x your career? Figure out your shortcut. My shortcut is comfortable for me. I'm totally fine with door knocking and cold calling. That's the thing also I was going to say. Find what you're comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable with what I'm telling you, get comfortable. It's not very comfortable jumping off your couch and running 10 miles. But there will come a time where you will find comfort in the exercise. It is not. You ever done yoga? I'm a big fan of yoga. Yoga is one of those things where if the first time you do it, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, it's a mess. Second time you do it, it's less. Third time, and then by the 10th or 15th time you do that routine, you get flexible, you get it. It happens. But here's the funny thing with yoga. If you take a week or 2 off and then you go back in, it's almost as if you never did it. Same with running. I can go from running a marathon and then taking a month off, and I can't even do a 5 mile. The body will adapt, and if you get uncomfortable and then comfortable with prospecting and generating leads the way I do, you will succeed. Expectation is it's going to hurt.